And in this video, we're going to be starting to look at interview questions that are related to strengths. So, strengths are basically just collection of characters. That's how we we know them. In most of the programming languages, they are immutable. So once they are assigned, they cannot be mutated. In Swift itself, string can be mutable if you create it as a var. It's immutable if you create it as let. Okay, so those are some basic properties. Everyone knows sort of like strings and have used them at one point. So I'm gonna say like that we can actually focus uh, that we cannot focus on that part like because that's such a basic data structure that you all have seen it. So with that said, like, we're gonna learn like, different string manipulation techniques, but we're gonna learn through the example. So we're gonna go through like, interview questions right off the bat and learn different techniques on strings itself that way. That gives you like, a little bit more practical context as how to manipulate strings. Um, like, and you're gonna solve the interview questions at the same time. So that's great. Now we're not gonna follow just trust me, like we're not gonna follow the same pattern for main data structures like linked lists, stacks, queues, and all these things. We're gonna go through like enough of a theory, so you understand like the basic concept because those are like uncommon ones. So if you have not taken data structures and algorithms course, like somewhere in school, then strings and arrays you will still know with your like just initial experience from the programming, but like linked list, stacks, queues, there are some trivial things that you might need to understand, and we are going to cover those in those sections of the videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with strings. So first question, I thought like I'll put a really popular and rather simple one. It's called FizzBuzz, and the question goes really simply. Basically, you are given a number, 1 to n. So let's say you're given number 15, and all you need to do is you need to loop over or basically print number 1 to 15, right? And then basically you need to print that number. But the catch is when you get 3 or multiples of 3, you need to print fizz, and when you get 5 or multiples of 5, you need to print buzz instead of that number. And then if you get multiples of both 3 and 5, right, then you need to print fizzbuzz. Okay. So it's very simple question, but there is one trick that one trap that everyone falls into. And I myself like have fallen into that like back in the day. So that's why I always remember this thing. But anyways, this is what we have like as an example. So we have like number 15. We're gonna print 1, 2. Instead of 3, we print fizz. Instead of 4, we print 4. Instead of 5, we print buzz. Instead of 6, because it's a multiple of 3, we print fizz again. 7, 8, fizz, buzz. 11, fizz. 13, 14, and 15 is basically multiples of both 3 and 5, so that's why we print FizzBuzz. Okay, so pause the video here, take a stab at it, and see if you can come with the potential solution and the algorithm, and then unpause the video and look at the solution that we've got for you. Okay, all right, so hope that went well. Let's take a look at the solution that we have come up with. So, the main idea, basically, like we discussed, is behind this whole algorithm design for this question is basically to handle multiples of 3 and 5 separately. The way you actually check if they are like multiples of 3 and 5, you use a mod operator or ampersand, basically to compute to basically compute if the number mod 3 is equal to zero. So there's no remainder. It has to be divided. It has to be if it's dividing completely without leaving any remainder. That's what mod operator does. It gives you the remainder. So that means that you have that number divided fully by that divisor. Okay. So for example, like 3 is going to be fully divided or completely divided without leaving any remainder by 3. So that leaves remainder 0. So that actually is a multiple of 3. As we know, 3 is a multiple of 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Like 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9 and stuff like that. So similarly goes for 5. Okay. So the trap that I was talking about is basically so if you start off like you say, hey, 3 is given first, so I'm gonna handle all the multiples of 3 first and then 5 first, and then the condition says like handle both 3 and 5, so I wrote 3 and 5 at the bottom, like first if 3 else 5, else 3 and 5. In that case, what's going to happen? This 3 and 5 condition is never going to get executed. That was the trap. So for this to work, for this FizzBuzz to work properly, you have to put like the last condition first, which is like you need to find out if a number is divided by both, is a multiple of both 3 and 5 first. Um, so you can print FizzBuzz, and that actually solves the problem of like basically 3 dividing it, or 3 or 5 dividing it first before it even gets to like 3 and 5, where it's not gonna go there in that loop. Okay, so I hope you understood the trap. Like if not, just move 3 and 5 up, and as a last else check, move I 3 and 5, and then see it. Okay. But the solution is this, like, this is it. So you check like, 3 and 5. We say like, it's fizz buzz. And if it's 3, we say fizz. If it's 5, say buzz. Otherwise, you just simply print that number. Okay, let's take a look at lab. So we can simply quickly just do this. So fizz buzz can accept a number, and we're not going to return anything because we are printing everything. And we also check if the number is like less than 0, but condition says like, or question itself says like number has to be 1 to n, so that actually explains itself. So we gotta say for I in 1 to n, or number, we say if I mod 3 is equal to 0 and I mod 5 is equal to 0, right? Then we print fizz buzz. Okay, else if I mod 3 is equal to 0, we print fifth. Else if I mod 5 is equal to 0, then you print buzz. Okay, if none of these conditions are met, that means we have a regular number, so we simply print that number, I. Okay, so if we test it out, we say FizzBuzz 15 and just run it. Um, hmm, for sure. Okay, so strict requires basically space between operator and operand, so that's why. Okay, there we go. So 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, and last one, 15. That's divided by both 3 and 5. So basically, it's a multiple of 3 and 5. So we say fizz, buzz. Okay, so that was the question. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, we're gonna take a look at another string related problem. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.